Hello, everybody. Happy Star Trek Tuesday. It's finally here. It is time for the main viewer, your favorite time of the week. It is when we talk about all the cool Star Trek and sci-fi news of the week. Welcome. We've got so much to talk about. This is a nuts week. It's crazy. We've got some news on Star Trek Discovery. As expected, we knew something major was going to drop. What it was, we'll have to tell you in a little bit, but everybody's like, are they going to tell us the premiere date? Are they going to tell us the premiere date? Are they? Yep, they did, kind of. And a few other little nuggets. Also, Critics' Choice Awards nominees just dropped. That's what the kids say, which means they were just announced. I've got my own drops to talk about too, actually. But so those just dropped. Lower Decks was nominated, as was Strange New Worlds. And there's so much more to talk about.
And Celia Rose Gooding.
And Celia Rose Gooding, who's freaking amazing. Melissa Longo's here, everybody. Can you believe it?
Hi. Yes, I'm here. Can you believe it?
Hey, by the way, everybody, please give this video a like and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. If you're listening in on a audio podcast, give us a 5-star rating and a nice review if you would. We'd really appreciate it because we're going to give you so much news and so much discussion. You're going to want to hit that like button a million times, but once is plenty because Dr. Anne-Marie Seagull is here.
Hi. Yeah, ton of stuff happened this week. Crazy week. I mean, not even week, since Friday when we were at Star Trek and Chill.
So much stuff, everybody. Full disclosure. I can't see anything. Have you ever had your pupils dilated? I just got them dilated to have my eyes checked. And so I can't. Can you, are my pupils really?
Yeah, it's like the I Love Lucy episode.
Still, there we go. This is what they give you.
Yes.
Yes. You should wear that the whole time.
Now I look like I'm 80 years old and I'm being walked across the street, right? This is actually kind of nice.
Keep us on.
Is it better?
It's more, it helps, but I still can't see anything, but it makes the brightness better. So I don't know if we can record like this though. I wish we could put a poll in the live chat that says, should we do it with the sunglasses on or whatever? Are these sunglasses, whatever these are, on or off?
They look like those eclipse glasses.
Yeah, very similar, but I can't type the poll. I don't know. I can't.
No polls today.
So, so let's talk about the news, everybody, shall we? First things first is our good friend, Bill Walkoff. Why am I struggling? Who tweets out this fun item. He's at Flying Lobster. We love him. And he makes these announcements that Anne-Marie will read for us.
Okay, so he's telling us about 2 nominations from the TV Critics' Choice nominations that just came out today. So Strange New Worlds got recognized twice, Best Drama Series and also Best Supporting Actress in a Drama Series. So Strange New Worlds and Celia Rose Gooding, which, I mean, amazing company because it's like Succession, Morning Show, The Crown, and something I'm sure Ryan loves called Winning Time, The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty.
No, I don't love that. I don't. And in fact,
I heard you were the critic who voted for it.
In fact, Strange New Worlds, I'm down for. Succession's incredible. The Morning Show, with the jury's still out on this new season. Loki didn't do it for me. The Last of Us, I know everybody's talking about.
I'm rewatching The Crown right now. It's so good.
Have you guys seen The Diplomat?
A couple episodes. It's a little boring.
What?
But I've watched it.
It's on Netflix, I think.
What did you see, Melissa?
Strange New Worlds.
Okay, just that one out of that whole list.
Yeah. Oh wait, yeah, I think so.
You didn't watch the Lakers dynasty of whatever? No, they
I missed that one. Darn.
You haven't
Let's
seen
look at the-
Succession though? Wow.
No, I didn't watch that.
Huh.
So
Okay.
there's a lot more to talk about with this. So I sent you some of the articles that cover it in detail. Sorry, I just thought we were going to do just go first.
Well, yeah, we were, but then this news just dropped.
Okay.
So check this out, everybody. This is from trekmovie.com.
So because what this tweet didn't mention is that Lower Decks also got a nomination. It's just that people on both shows were tweeting their own nominations, and it's just amazing. And they're getting nominated for like the top things. When you go to the Deadline article that has all the nominations, I mean, like the most important category is best drama. And so it's just like Star Trek is right there when you open the Deadline list of everything. But yeah, so this one is Star Trek Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks nominated for Best Series Critics' Choice Awards with a great graphic.
Yeah, and it's awesome that they are getting these big nominations. The Best Drama Award is the big kahuna. And this is being nominated.
Kahuna? Wait,
Yeah.
Isn't that a different word?
It's kahuna.
Yeah, but I know, but kahuna, you've heard kahuna before.
Yeah.
That's a real thing too.
I said it the way I wanted to say it.
It's one big ball.
Yeah, it's the big ball out of the little balls. But but it's great that they are being nominated for this big award, because the Critics' Choice aren't necessarily Star Trek fans. So it's awesome that they are being recognized, people outside of fandom, which Star Trek deserved to have been recognized a long time ago, but it's great that they're getting recognized now.
I mean, what's shocking is that Picard isn't there. I'm totally shocked by that. It was so good. I mean, I know that it kind of like builds on TNG, but I just felt like standing alone, it's just the actors are so amazing.
Yeah, they are. And it was a great third season.
Yeah. What are the Critics' Choice Awards? What's the difference between Critics' Choice Awards and like Emmys? Is this just like television? And when do we find out the winners? I don't know.
Are they just people who like don't get to vote, and they're not just people, but they're not welcome to vote in the other ones? I don't know.
Well, yeah, because the Emmys, aren't they nominated by a committee in an academy, and then the critics are Critics' Choice critics, right? Just like People Choice Awards or People's like the Lappies, People Choice Awards for Star Trek.
More on the Lappies in a moment, everybody, and in a little bit, because as you know, we have the big Star Trek Awards show every year. The 2024 Lappy Awards are coming up very soon. That is going to be Sunday, February 18th. And right now we are doing the preliminary round in which everybody, that includes all of you, the fans, to vote for the nominees. Everything's open. You can add as many people or episodes or moments or scenes as you'd like. And then they're whittled down to finalists. And right now we're doing the final grouping of finalists, and we'll talk a bit more about those in a little while. And then once those close on Friday, we will have all of the finalists for all of the Lappy Awards for everybody to vote on. And it's going to be freaking huge. Sorry to upstage the Critics' Choice Awards. Those are kind of big too.
A couple other things to mention for the Critics' Choice Awards before we move on are that like Lower Decks, it's actually their second year being nominated. So major congratulations to them. And they're up against some of my favorites like Bob's Burgers. So it's definitely a prestigious category.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also great. Lower Decks was the first ever Star Trek show to get nominated.
Right. True that. So
that happens on January 14th on the CW.
Yeah.
And the other thing is also, so the Saturn nominations happen tomorrow, which I think everybody's waiting with bated breath because that's notoriously where Star Trek gets the most attention. So definitely keep your eye out for Trek Movie and Trek Central, and everybody keeps us up to date on that Screen Rant. So I know, like, Ryan is a pro at Saturn Awards because he was Doug Jones's date one year.
Mm-hmm. And doesn't that happen at 10 a.m. tomorrow?
Pacific,
What's that?
The Saturn Award nominations will be announced at 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh, wow. So it is the very next day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's another thing that will be announced at 10 a.m. tomorrow as well, everybody. And that is going to be, is it Time or People? I think that it's the Time Person of the Year. And there are some interesting nominations there. And I think they're going to announce that at 10 a.m. as well. So there's a lot going on at 10 a.m. tomorrow. I don't know if it's Pacific time or East Coast time, but
I have to say.
Wow.
Yeah,
so the Saturn Awards, yeah, those are really cool. And I did get to go with Doug Jones one year and got to hang out and chat with our good friend Michelle Paradise, who is amazing. Who else was there? It was that Chucky kept winning. I didn't even know Chucky had a series.
You know, was there, and then Glorious Trexperts were there.
Mm-hmm.
Another table.
But did you know Chucky had a TV show now, or Child's Play?
No. This is first. Wow. No. I had no clue.
Yeah, and it had
bizarre.
I think Jennifer Tilly was in it, so she's great. She's a great voice actress now, but I think she was affiliated with it. And yeah, there are all kinds of people that year at. But Michelle Paradise was super fun, and she went up and accepted a couple awards, made a lot of jokes. I was like, is she a stand-up comedian? Because she had like a delivery like a stand-up comedian. I'm like, did she at least used to do it back in the day? Because she definitely had a certain performance to her, which was cool. Isa Briones was also hanging out with us at our table. She was very nice. It was a good time. So the Saturn Awards, yeah, that's a fun memory. Good times there.
Yeah. I wonder what the criteria is to be nominated for Best Supporting Anything or Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor. I mean, it's awesome that Celia Rose Gooding is nominated for the Best Supporting. That's great. Has there been another nomination for for Star Trek actors for Best Actor, Best anything? I don't.
Star Trek's first nomination was last year.
Yeah, no, but as far as Best Actor goes, Best Actor, Best Actress, I don't.
No, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, and the animated nomination, dude, how much more do people need to show that Lower Decks is Star Trek? It's awesome Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go to Discovery?
Well, hang on. I was actually I've got this as dim as possible for me right now. This is great. So I was thinking about that actually today. Like I think Melissa, you just mentioned it. What's their criteria for the Critics' Choice? Are we talking about, for example, an animated show? Are they saying like best animation? Are they saying like best writing? What are we talking about when they're saying like?
It is interesting because they include kids shows and adult shows. So like, yeah, I do kind of wonder that.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like it might just be what's the best show overall. But usually when people are talking about best show, whether they realize it or not, they're talking about writing. That's it.
Right.
It really begins and ends with writing. You could have, some ragtag, low budget something, but if it's got a ton of great writing, that's always going to win. That's going to trump everything, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and I think it's overall production too. Writing is the main thing that launches everything, but if you have a good cast good cast. Good casting is crucial. But also costumes and lighting and everything, whether you have a lot of special effects or anything, casting and writing and all of that has to come together to make this perfect little bundle of watchable entertainment. Um, so I think writing is the catalyst, though. You can't really do much with a bad script.
What do you think, Doctor?
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I'm not like an insider on award shows. I just know what the article.
Oh, aren't you? I think you are actually an insider on a major award show, cute. Actually.
Oh wait, that's right. The Laffy Awards. Oh my God, I'm just being humble. But one really cute thing I did have to add is, like, I was looking at Chris Fisher's Instagram when this happened, and he was saying, like, oh, and Celia like added on his thing, like, way to go, Fish. And I was like, it's so cute that she calls him Fish. That's all I have to add.
That's cute.
I love the camaraderie of that show.
That is very cute. So look, everybody, here is the big news that people have been waiting on for a long time. And before we get to that, though, how's the live chat doing, Anne-Marie?
Good. Well, one thing I have to add with this, like, as we get to the next thing, we have somebody in the chat who is like a Brazil insider. Trek Movie actually announced that Trek, I'm going to butcher how to say this, Brazilis, they actually were doing the on the ground work of reporting in Brazil and like helping Trek Movie put together the information. And Maria in the live chat, Lucia in the live chat says that she's on that team. So that's amazing.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
First
Yay, Lucy in Brazil. Woohoo. That's awesome. And she also says lower decks, lower decks, lower decks. Because lower decks is awesome.
So, okay. Everybody was talking about what's going to happen with Discovery. What's the big announcement? What are they going to say? What's Michelle Paradise, showrunner of Star Trek Discovery season 3, 4, and 5? And what's the news? People were guessing. Is it going to be January? Is it going to be February? Is it going to be March, April, May, June? People were freaking out. We were going nuts about it. We had piñatas outside. It was crazy. We got the answer. The answer was actually April.
Which nobody guessed.
Surprisingly.
Some people did. If everybody in the live chat, if you guessed April, we did a poll. And most people, I think the plurality said February. I believe that one. But there was still a good amount that said April. If you guessed April correctly, let us know in the live chat.
And we'll say, hooray, you guessed correctly.
Say insider trading. So in this article, so it gets good if you want to scroll down past the clip. I'll tell you when. Okay, keep scrolling a little to the season podcast part. Okay, go back up.
I can't see anything.
Okay, a little up another inch. Okay, good. Okay, so because before that, it's just they're recapping what has previously been announced about season 5 and that we know it's in April. So they started talking about the cast a little bit. And so for season 5 cast, they say Paramount Plus also released a new cast photo for season 5 showing off returning cast members Sonequa Martin Green, Doug Jones, Anthony Rapp, Mary Wiseman, Wilson Cruz, David Ayala, and Blue DeVario, along with new cast member Callum Keith Rennie, who's playing Rayner. And he's on the far right in this picture.
Hey, that guy has all the letters of my name.
Yeah. His ears are awesome. He's got Vulcan ears.
Oh, really?
They're redesigned. Yeah. But I'm excited to see this character.
Yeah, what do we know anything about this guy?
We have more info coming up. So first of all, they talk a little bit about Mary. So we knew Mary Wiseman was going to be in this season, even though she like maybe had left the show because we saw her in Margarita Alley, like by their trailers during filming for season 5. when they showed that at Star Trek Day, either I guess last year now. But so they just continue. Mary Wiseman's Tilly left the USS Discovery in episode 4 of season 4 to take up a post at Starfleet Academy, returning in the season 4 finale. It appears Tilly's returning to the USS Discovery for the 5th and final season. It's unknown if Wiseman's Tilly will also be part of the new Star Trek Starfleet Academy series, which is currently in development with shooting expected to start in 2024. I mean, I think that's the question on all of our minds. So interested to know.
Mm-hmm.
But now they go on to talk about, so the new person, Callum Keith Rennie, I guess you say Rayner, is new to the cast, playing Starfleet Captain Rayner. Rayner is from Navarre, formerly Vulcan. Here is his official character description. I love when they give official, it's like Star Trek Bible glimpses. It like reminds me of TV Guide in the 90s. Like I would get so excited when they would announce these for Deep Space Nine and Voyager. Like I'd keep them and read them over and over. Be like, ooh, who's this B'Elanna Torres? So mysterious. So here's his official character description. Rayner is a gruff, smart Starfleet captain who holds a clear line between commander and crew. He leads, they follow. Rayner's all about the mission, whatever it may be, and he doesn't do niceties along the way. His feeling is, I know, his feeling is you get the job done and apologize later. Like, uh-oh. He has a storied track record of wartime success, but in times of peace, he struggles. Collaboration is not his strong suit. That said, if it serves the greater good, he's willing to learn, but it won't be easy. Like, how did this dude get captain?
We don't know his backstory.
This is how you know this. It's like the next, they go on to show a picture of him like leaning over a table like this. Like he means business. That's how you know like everything they said is true.
Mm-hmm.
So is that reminiscent of Shaw, Captain Shaw?
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Now, I will say before I hesitate to throw that out there because I don't want in any way to insinuate that, you know, this is in any way, you know, relevant or related to Shaw, especially because let's remind everybody that this season of Discovery was written and shot before Picard season 3, or at least at the same time, but probably before. Because remember, they were basically practically done around the same time. Yeah, so it's maybe around the same time. So I can't imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Jellicoe. I like
Maybe.
that. So if he was born on Navarre, so he's a Vulcan, but he's also no nonsense and tough and apologized later. That sounds like very human characteristics. Now I can't see very closely, but are his ears fully Vulcan or just kind of smoothed out like half Vulcan?
No, but they've got a little cleft in them mid-ear. It looks like, well, from the cast photo, it looks like he's got a little cleft in his ear, almost like an elf. So the ears are a little bit different from the Vulcan ears that we're used to seeing.
I just have to be like Saru's brother-in-law or something.
No chance of that.
Yeah, no, because his ears are definitely different from Tarina.
Like smaller, less pointy?
Kind of, yeah. The point isn't as pronounced at the top, and then he's got that little hitch towards his mid-ear. So it's a little bit different. So I'm wondering if he's a hybrid of some sort.
Seems like it, possibly. Maybe he's mixed with another alien race that we've never seen before.
When
that
it's Discovery, it's so hard to know because they do change their alien looks. So there's that. There's also like, who knows what the variation within the planet is. It's all very tricky. But there's some more about other characters if you want to go on.
Yeah. Especially, I just want to throw out one more thing too. Like you mentioned, look, this is what the 32nd century or something like that. So it's entirely possible that Vulcans are a lot more chill now, right? They're not going to be so rigid. Possibly. And he might just, you know, he might be like, dude, calm down. We like logic, but we don't love it.
Possibly. Okay. Yeah.
Or maybe there's been more like marriages between species over these hundreds of years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And John Orkiola in the live chat says he bets that Rayner is a hybrid Romulan.
Whoa,
Or
that's
Wayun is
cool.
like his great grandpa. It's a little
More
bit
than that.
like 40.
Oh, kind of. Yeah, a little bit.
So this article continues.
Yeah, although not pictured in the new cast, season 5 also features recurring guest stars Elias Tufexis, who plays Locke, and Eve Harlow, who plays Maul. Here are how they have been described. Maul is a former courier turned outlaw who is highly intelligent and dangerous with an impressive strategic mind and a sharp wit. She goes into every situation with a clear plan and stays focused and clear-headed on her goal, even when things go awry. She's not intimidated by Captain Burnham or the crew of the USS Discovery and will face anyone down who stands in her way in order to get what she wants. So she's an outlaw, though. Like,
Interesting.
yeah.
What about La'ak?
Okay, so La'ak or La'ak, I don't know how it is, because La'an is two A's. I just don't know. La'ak is a former courier turned outlaw. Wait, is it the same? Is also a former courier turned outlaw who is tough, impulsive, and fiercely protected of his beloved partner Maul. So long as he knows she's safe, he doesn't care about collateral damage or its consequences, a perspective that makes him very dangerous at times and will put him on the opposite side of Captain Burnham and the crew of the USS Discovery when they come into conflict. Oh, new power couple in town.
Locke and Maul.
Yeah, they're the Bonnie and Clyde of the future. Maybe.
I wonder when they say this, it's like, from these descriptions, could they really be in that many episodes? Like, or is it one of those things where they're like talking a lot about one hyper-focused episode, and then you realize when the series drops, like, oh, they're cute together. Oh my God, Rebel. I love that.
So there are two completely different races here, right?
Yeah.
So La'ak looks like a complete alien, almost looks like G'Kar, I think it is, of Babylon 5, right?
Yeah, you mean G'Kar?
Whatever.
But yes.
Jafar so he looks kind of like, G'Kar of Babylon 5, but with a smoother head, green coloration. And Eve Harlow playing Maul kind of just looks like a human, right?
Yeah, bleaching her hair too much.
Yeah.
She needs conditioner.
I'm wondering if her eyes are violet or not. Can't tell. Huh. Yeah.
Cool though. Great makeup.
Yeah.
In the live chat, everybody, let us know, please. What do you think of Locke and Maul? Locke and Maul.
I'm already like a big fan of how cute they are together.
Yeah, they're cuties.
Back of the head says, I believe Locke and Maul are reoccurring characters. So hopefully we'll see them in more than one episode.
So cute.
Nice. Speaking of cuties, I think our good buddy Dr. Mohammed Noor is jumping in here, which is great because we like having him around.
Yay!
What's up, Mohammed?
Hello. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
A large amount about Discovery.
I saw. Yeah. You have great
Mohammed,
reading too, by the way.
What do you think, Mohammed, about Locke and Maul?
Don't know anything about them, but they sound cool. I mean, aside from what you guys just read.
So
both couriers or ex-couriers, right?
It's kind of like, this is sort of like gone into more detail in the next article I sent you, because this next article comes from an actual Discovery panel, and this was the article covering like the press release.
Yeah.
We're talking about trekmovie.com.
Yes, because they worked with Trek Brazilis to bring us on the ground information about the panel.
That's great. And we love our good buddies over at trekmovie.com. So that's where this article comes from.
Where Lori
Check it
Elster
out.
is, right?
And Anthony Pascal.
Yeah. Ooh. Can we read it?
Yes. Yeah, please.
Sure. Star Trek Discovery star and showrunner talk up fun season 5 and satisfying series conclusion.
I like that already.
I know, right?
Plus, also, I love seeing what they wear at their events. They're both always like so stylish. I want
Yeah.
their stylists.
They're the best too. Both Michelle and Sonequa are amazing. So
Was
over the
there.
weekend, Star Trek Discovery star Sonequa Martin Green and executive producer Michelle Paradise were in Sao Paulo, Brazil, to promote the upcoming 5th and final season at CCXP, the biggest pop culture event in Latin America. In addition to announcing season 5 is coming in April and unveiling a new clip, the pair also offered some more details on what fans can expect. Trek Movie has partnered up with our friends at Trek Brasilis to bring you coverage of CCXP 2023. So more fun and more episodic. Michelle Paradise and Sonequa Martin Green held back-to-back panels at CCXP on Saturday, one on the main Thunder stage and one on the Omelette stage.
That's so funny.
Wait, the what?
The
Omelette
omelet
stage.
stage.
Oh, wait.
That's a real.
Yeah.
So
What
really
is that?
fast, I just have to say, like, hi, Joshua Patton in the live chat. I'm such a big fan of your articles at CBR. And he said
Oh, cool.
his quasi-colleague Maggie Lovett, who I'm also a massive fan of, she got to host those panels. Sounds
Ooh.
amazing.
Oh, nice.
Amazing. So cool.
And we need to have you come on the show one of these days. Any Tuesday you're free.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool. So they talked up the upcoming season, including how season 5 is going to be a bit different than previous seasons. So Michelle Paradise is first. This season will be a lot of action, a lot of adventure, a lot of fun. We'll also, as we always do in Star Trek Discovery, explore meaningful themes as well. The family on board Discovery, the community, all those sorts of things. We did a bit of a tonal shift this season while still maintaining what Discovery is, and it's a lot of fun. And Sonequa Martin Green adds, it's going to be a wild ride, y'all.
Okay, so it sounds like the keywords, one is obviously fun. The other keyword is, I guess it's a term, it's 2 words, tonal shift. What do you think they mean by it's going to be a lot of fun, so it's a tonal shift, but it's still going to stay true to what Discovery is? How do they walk that line? Because I think it sounds like what they're saying is, hey, Discovery is usually pretty heavy. It's kind of dark. It's kind of emotional, you know? So if they go into the fun direction, I get that, and I get how it's different, but what are they keeping still in the old realm that still works with fun? You know, that's what's that anchor that is what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, but I think Michelle Paradise actually explains what that is. She, in the article, in one of her quotes, I can't remember exactly what the quote is, but I know that she said fun, action, adventure, but keeping with the tone of Discovery as far as staying true to the actors or the characters themselves.
Would you like to take this one for us, Dr. Norm? Maybe this is it.
Sure. This shift will also be seen in the structure of the 10-episode season. Michelle Paradise says, season 5 is going to be a wonderful mix. The DNA of Discovery, love the DNA reference, the DNA of Discovery always has those serialized stories over the course of a season. This season, the nature of that serialized story allows us to have more episodic adventures. So I think people are going to dig it. There are some very cool adventures and some really fun episodes. Back to the narrator. Even though they didn't know it was going to be the final season of the series when it was originally shot, the showrunner did say they still tried to take some risks in season 5. So Michelle Paradise says, every season we try to go bigger and better than ever before. We have incredible technology like the AR wall and using that better. This season is our best. So it is interesting, Ryan, you were asking about like some of the words. I mean, the word which keeps coming up there is adventure too. And that, I mean, I don't know that, like, I mean, the other seasons were fantastic. I don't think we'd necessarily call them an adventure. I mean, it's not like Raiders of the Lost Ark-ish or something like that. That's clearly an adventure. So it sounds like maybe that's part of the shift there.
Right. You know, the other word that I saw in there that kind of made me go back and think about it was episodic.
Right.
Discovery was definitely not episodic. If I remember correctly, there have been exactly 2 episodic episodes. I feel like that was in the first season. There was one where they went to Pavo.
To make the Santa Sandwich.
Right? I feel like that was episode
Yes.
7-ish, Pavo. And then there was also the Harry Mudd episode in the first season as
Episode
well.
7.
I feel like the church one, season 2, was pretty episodic
Yes, New
too.
Eden.
Yeah,
good point.
it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
And also, the Poffins make an appearance on our Lappy Awards preliminary polls.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what they mean is if they're going episodic, it lends itself to being able to go and actually have specifically fun episodes, kind of like this one's a little bit different. Like maybe they go to a drunk planet, or maybe they go to a planet of kittens, or a planet of kittens where you could get drunk and play with them. And so those are, you're right. So those are fun, but then there's still the overarching serialized story,
which would be
that's
awesome.
Interesting. Mm-hmm.
That would be
similar to say like what Lower Decks has done, where they have like an overarching story, but it's episodic. Picard, not really. They were more serialized.
Yeah, I guess so. But even Strange New Worlds, even though it's episodic, there is a through line, a through arc. It's definitely character-wise, but also with Kirk and Pike's history and the Gorn as being adversaries. There's still a little bit of a through line in that, even though it's structured episodically.
Mm-hmm. Great way to tell how episodic something is if you just completely shuffle the order, how much does it mess it up?
Exactly. Yeah.
So if it messes up very little, then there's very little serialization. Whereas if it's like, okay, now I have no idea what's happening.
Star Trek, the original series, is going perfect.
Yep. Yeah. Doesn't matter what the order was.
We could shoot anything, anywhere. We don't
there's very few references. I mean, it's not zero, but there's very few references to past things in the original series. And honestly, they don't really matter. Like the ones that are there, like it's just a passing mention of this, like, oh yeah, that did come up in the previous one. But like if you didn't know, you'd just be like, oh, it's something I didn't know. Okay, whatever.
So actually, as Melissa alluded to, there's a lot more quotes in this article. So let's get to them if you would. There's some good stuff here.
Really fast, we have to say hi to all the Brazilian people in our live chat. I'm loving this influx.
Oh, cool. Really?
So cool. Yeah, so awesome. And they say, I don't know how to say it in Portuguese, like omelet is the name of a food, but also the company that puts on the convention. I love that.
Fun.
Good information.
Cool. It's half those things in English too.
That's true.
So
go ahead and jump in.
Would be boa noite to all the Brazilians. Boa noite.
Interesting. So Sinico Martin Green says, these guys are brilliant. So you can definitely expect to see some amazing performances from the three of. Oh, wait, did we miss something? Who are the three of them they're talking about? There's a little bit above it. Season 5 will include some new faces, with Callum Keith Rennie joining the main cast, playing Navarre, Starfleet Captain Rayner. Elias Tufexis and Eve Harlow have recurring roles playing the main adversaries Locke and Mole, who you guys heard about earlier. Both Martin Green and Paradise expounded on what the new actors brought to the season. So now we go to the thing. Martin Green says, these guys are brilliant, so you can definitely expect to see some amazing performances from the three of them. They came into the family, we welcomed them with open arms, and they took off running with us as if they had always been there. And you will love what happens with them. I feel like their story is unique. It's unique to the show. And what happens with all the characters actually is quite culminating. I think you'll love Callum. I think you'll love Eve. I think you'll love Elias for sure. Shell Paradise adds, yeah, they're really wonderful actors, wonderful characters. I think it's going to be really fun to see how Burnham responds to these new characters. Elias and Eve pose quite the challenge in terms of the storyline and what their characters are going to do to this season. And Callum, he's wonderful.
Yeah, I have to say, like, one of my favorite things in all of Star Trek, and one of the top reasons I watch, is when there are interspecies romances. I just think it really like pushes the envelope of like TV in general, and just like is such a good like hope for the future, and it just makes you fall in love with them and see how like cultural differences don't matter if you love each other and you get to know everybody's culture, and like everybody who's around them, I feel like, becomes a better person or alien for being around that. It's my favorite thing. So I love seeing that there's a new interspecies romance in town. I can't wait.
Well, and it seems to be a uniquely Star Trek theme, beginning with Spock. Right from the beginning, this has been a through line throughout Star Trek history, which is pretty awesome for all of the reasons Anne-Marie just said. Yeah, so it is awesome to say or see on TV.
Read.
Well, let's continue on
so
because there's
excited.
a bunch more here before we move on to the next item, if
Oh,
that's
good
okay
stuff.
with all of y'all.
Oh,
Here we go,
more
Mohammed.
discovery.
Check this out. Show off that great radio voice.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the top, both the star and executive producer talked about getting the opportunity to go back into production to turn the season finale into a series finale. Shell Paradise starts with, we did not know going into season 5 that it would be our final season. We found out after we were done shooting the season. So thankfully, Paramount Plus and CBS Studios gave us the ability to go back and shoot some additional scenes. So really at that point, it was about wrapping it up in the best way and having it feel wonderful for all the people who love Star Trek. Martin Green adds, Michelle and the team put together an addendum shoot that Paramount Plus and CBS Studios allowed us to do. And so we went back and we wrapped it up. When you see it, it is beautifully culminating. I really believe it was satisfying. It really ties up really well. Both also talked about how wrapping up the show makes them feel. Shell Paradise starts with, it's going to be bittersweet. Thank you all for loving the show as much as we do. Thank you for supporting us over all these years. Star Trek fans are the best fans. Thank you. And we really didn't feel like it's bittersweet as it is until the end. I feel like you will be. It will feel like a satisfying conclusion. And it's a heck of a season. It was a lot of fun to do. Every season that we do, we want to do it bigger and better and bolder than the season before. And I think you're in for quite a treat with this new season. It's really a lot of fun. It's awesome. Martin Green adds, it's a roller coaster of emotions. It's bittersweet, it's sad, it's shocking, it's celebratory. We feel a lot of joy and peace because we can look back on it now in hindsight and see it very clearly. As grateful as we were going through it, now we can look back and be like, look at what we did. I personally feel that God showed up and showed out for me with being able to have this experience with all of us. We'll always have it. It's unforgettable.
Okay.
Discovery. The other thing to think about is like, I mean, that makes everybody emotional, I'm sure, reading it. But we still don't know about Starfleet Academy. Like that could be set in these years so that we see the characters later on. I mean, at least I hope so.
It could be a direct spinoff where it basically just takes place exactly where this left off. Some of the characters are still in, so it's almost like we're still continuing along this line, but now we're just hopping over to a parallel line and going along. Because I think it's going to I think it's going to take place right where Discovery leaves off. I mean, I'm not basing that on anything other than Tilly. I think Tilly gives me that impression. It doesn't mean it will be, but the fact that she goes off to teach at Starfleet Academy and they're doing a Starfleet Academy show and Star Trek on Paramount did release the thing saying that nobody had been to, Starfleet Academy had been shut down for however many hundreds of years. Yeah. So we know it's not going to be in the time of Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, original series, anything like that. We know it's going to take place well into the future. So that's really where those things are pointing, isn't it?
Well, it just popped so much when she started teaching. I felt like that episode really was like, wow, there's a lot of potential here. That Orion guy was amazing. She was so great at helping them learn. I just feel like it's definitely possible.
Definitely. And it definitely felt like that episode they were laying the seeds for the Star Trek Academy series to see this is what you have to look forward to in the future. Tilly may be disappearing for a little bit now, but just wait. We'll see much more of her in years to come. So that's kind of awesome because we do love Tilly.
It'll bring Stamets guest lecturer.
Yeah.
Yep. So, okay.
And the possibilities for other guest lecturers via hologram is open to possibility. Yeah. All of Star Trek.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking we're going to see Chief O'Brien, hologram of Chief O'Brien showing up. So okay,
What was the
but
episode where
here's
in Deep
The
Space
spy.
Nine where they crashed on that planet? They had the hologram Quark as the teacher.
Yes, yeah.
I forget the name of that one.
Children of Time.
That's the one. Children of Time.
Yeah,
very good.
I don't know how I.
So my
remember
question
that.
is this, not to play spoiler, but when they say that they went back to do some reshoots, not reshoots, but additional shoots,
Mhm.
what I wonder is who went back? Was it the whole crew? Was it just a handful of characters to give them personal closure? Like, did they go back and shoot additions to Book and Michael Burnham getting back together? Like maybe they planned, like for example, maybe they thought the two of them are going to get back together, but we'll save it for the 7th season or something like that. Like
they better have shot a Saru and Torino weddings.
right. Or
Or baby shower.
if they had these character arcs mapped out for the next few years and they felt like, okay, this will happen in season 6, this will happen in 7, but they want to give the characters closure, then what they would do is they would just bring those specific characters back, pepper in a few scenes between them, episode 2, Book and Mike are like, should we give this another try? Or, episode, and they pepper things in, or Saru and Tarina, they kind of, whatever they've been saving for the future seasons. Or so that's like the personal closure, which is usually the more important thing. That's usually what people go for. There isn't some big galactic thing going on right now that we need to have closure in the universe of Star Trek. So it's more character driven.
Right.
So that's what I would think it would be, is giving relationship closure, or Stamets and Culber, something goes on between them,
Well, maybe it's something similar to the closure of the Dominion War. After that's finished, and then we get the at the very end, the last episode of Deep Space Nine, you have What You Leave Behind, and then that is more personal closure, saying goodbye to all of the characters. So it could be that would make sense to me if they have wrapped up this whole long season-long story. That closure will send our characters off into new directions, maybe.
Yeah, and Picard did that with like the last 20 minutes of the finale. So
yeah,
they definitely have
true.
recently done it.
I like Dracorix has commented in the chat, says one would hope we will see a nice wrap up for all, if only a small one, not like Lord of the Rings multi-ending. I don't know if you guys remember that last movie. That was a little intense with like 6 endings there.
I would watch 50. If it's Lord of the Rings, you can't go wrong with rings.
We could figure out a little bit by just going back to Twitter and just seeing who tweeted at the time they went back to Toronto at the end of April.
I was checking so carefully
did they?
because Anthony Rapp was doing a show like downstairs from my apartment. And so I was like checking every day to see if there were any shows that were like not happening. So we only had like 2 days off at a time. So we could have plausibly gone to Toronto and stealthily. Yeah.
So there's one more thing to close out Discovery here. And we'll pull up our good buddies at trekcentral.net. We're still pissed that trekcentral.com was taken in the 80s.
So this one, if you just scroll down a little, like what they did include was talking about the ship for all the ship nerds in the audience.
Well, what they're showing is what I'm looking for is the trailer, but that we cannot watch.
Yeah.
We can't watch, yeah, right. It's a 1-minute clip, and it looks amazing. Everybody just listening in, trust us. It looks amazing. You've got like these cloaked cloaked monsters.
Yeah.
I like when the Michael asked Book something like, can you get in his mind? And he like does the first thing. He's like, he's really pissed.
Well, and it shoots these weird thingies that look, I don't know, like they could have venom in them.
Beautiful color. Look at that. It's like explosive.
Yeah.
And they make the nice joke that reminds me of Lethal Weapon when they say, okay, on 3. And then Sinequa says, well, wait, is it, or no, book says,
Yes.
is it 1, 2, and then on 3, or 1, 2, 3, and then go? And then she says, it's 1, 2, 3, or 1,
Then
2,
he
and
goes.
go. And then he goes. That's funny.
That was
So funny.
But it is reminiscent of Lethal Weapon for anybody that's seen that movie. That is a
Mhm.
great movie there. Great clip. So make sure you check that out. It's about a 1-minute clip. And I can see in this clip what they mean by fun adventure, right? Because it feels like an adventure because they're running around, they're shooting space aliens, they're jumping and diving, but it's also fun in that they're making jokes. They're being silly.
Their
You know,
chemistry. Oh my
Book
gosh.
actually dies at the end of this scene. It's pretty crazy. It's not that fun.
Yeah, that was a
To
shocker.
me, that I don't think that's fun.
It was
I
rather
think that's
gruesome too. How
sad.
his head was just like melted. Oh,
Spoilers.
I mean, that was cool.
from the animal mind melt that he was trying to do.
Yeah.
It's fun. I want to see what they are.
Yeah.
And if no, I want to know if Muhammad had a hand in that.
I did not. I can just say that.
Oh, you know, fruit flies, moths, you know.
Kind of monster-like.
Monster-like.
Speaking of fruit flies, we have an article here from our good friends over at USA Today.
No.
We love to pull up
Awesome.
articles from USA Today, and USA Today loves to quote us in their articles. So this one reads, actually, we'll let Muhammad read it if that's okay
Sure.
with y'all.
Sure. From beef to good omens, here's a ranking of 2023's best TV shows. That's the title.
Wait a second.
Cool.
Well, so last week we had Vanity
Cool.
Fair, and now we have actual USA Today. It's a huge coup.
Yeah.
Wow.
Star Trek is
I mean-
fully mainstream.
Yes.
So in other words, in order for us to have this article, that means one of these 10 has to be Star Trek related.
Of course.
Yep.
And that's just all there is to it.
Or it's a December Fool's joke.
It looks like it is number 5. Muhammad, if you'd like to read this one for us.
Sure. Number 5, Star Trek Strange New Worlds on Paramount Plus. The best current Star Trek series, and maybe one of the best ever, Strange New Worlds, is It is a soaring space adventure that hits all the right Trek notes, figuratively and literally, in the case of the season's musical episode. So many recent TV shows felt like homework with overcomplicated stories and sluggish pacing, but Worlds is effortlessly enjoyable, downright breezy, and playful as the crew of the Enterprise, set just a few years before the original Trek series, faces one conundrum after another.
Hang on a second. This is Larry Nemechek is going to be pissed at this article, because did you notice what they nicknamed Strange New Worlds? They called it Worlds.
I know, he calls it Strange New.
And exactly, he calls it Strange New. They call it Worlds. This is a battle. Like, it's not even close. Like, he's like, we pick the first 2 words, kick off the last one. And they're like, no.
They complement each other.
Kick off the last one, or you kick off the first 2 and you use the last one.
It is funny to call it Worlds.
It'd be like, for the other way, it'd be like the next.
Yeah.
Actually, generation almost works. 9, you can't say 9. Some people say deep space, do they?
They do. Mm-hmm.
I don't like
Terry
it.
Farrell says it.
I'm down to
Space
call.
9 would be weird.
I'm down to call Voyager Jur. That's cool. I'm down with that.
Isn't that boy?
Could be, yeah, Voy, but I like Jur.
Age in the middle.
Yeah.
Age.
I think that could not be a more complimentary blurb. Like, I'm so impressed with that.
I like Prize. Let's just keep coming up with more nicknames.
Prize.
Hey, Very. We got a Very. That's pretty good.
There were
Discovery.
people at the convention I went to last week. There were people wearing Enter.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, but Anne-Marie's like, look, can we just talk about what the article actually
It's
said?
just so great. I'm so proud of them, like, getting in there.
It is.
And obviously it's biased by like who's writing. Like, I wouldn't say it's I mean, I'm not going to ever say any Star Trek is the best Star Trek, but
No, I wouldn't say that
it's
either.
just wonderful. I mean, it's good to at least they're saying something because it maybe gets more people to watch it. And then once you watch Strange New or World, you'll probably like go watch another one.
Okay. Well,
Amazing.
Muhammad agreed with you that he would never call anything the best Star Trek ever. But if you were to, Muhammad, which would it be?
Oh, it'd be. No, I'm just kidding. I would not. Especially not for series that still haven't finished. I mean, it's like, what? But there's still more to come. Like,
Right.
we don't know.
Right.
Can we say which one's the worst?
Again,
No,
still
that's
more to
even
come.
worse.
You don't know what's going to happen.
But in an article by USA Today that only has 10 shows for the whole year, and so many people, USA Today has such a massive readership. I just feel like that's a really great thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. That's
Right.
great advertising. But also, I was going to say just how complimentary it was in what it was saying. It wasn't saying great explosions, great visual effects, because yes, those are great and they should be very proud of those, what they've accomplished. But you know, really, you want to get to the nitty gritty of a show. You're talking about the writing. You're talking about what you're actually consuming.
Saying.
And right. And the fact that they were being so complimentary and calling it effortless and enjoyable. Now, the key was homework, right? They were saying there are a lot of shows out there where you really have to pay attention and you really got to take notes on your clipboard like Muhammad does.
Yeah, I remember that first episode of Foundation. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That was intense.
It was.
Which I loved it, but oh my God. That was homework.
Did you watch the rest?
I did.
Oh wow. I haven't.
Which one was Foundation?
It just got renewed for
like
a third
a million
season.
names.
Yeah, a million names of planets and worlds and people and stuff
was
like that.
Was that the one where they had like a few years before the empire would fall or something like that?
Exactly.
No, that was a nightmare.
Yeah.
That was a nightmare.
It just got renewed for a third season.
Too many notes on that one.
So we have like a lot of new people in the live chat. So basically, Muhammad and Ryan have a Wednesday show that they watch the first of a different show every week, and it's called Watch the First, and we'll talk about it more later. But yeah, you guys have to take tons of notes.
Tudo bem. Okay, my Brazilian friend once told me that the way you say hello is you say oi, right? And then I was like, how do you say like how are you or what's going on? And she's like e aí. And I'm like, do you guys have any consonants in your language? What's going on? And so then one time I called her and then she picks up and it was like from a different, I think it was a landline or something like that. And I was like, oi. And she said, oi. I said, ayo, which means it's me. And then I said, e aí. And the whole time she was like, who is this? I don't know. And then finally I was like, I'm just kidding. It's me. That's all the words I knew. But I was like, you guys don't have any consonants in your language. You could just be like, oi, ayo, e aí. And they're like, ayo, yo, e aí. Anyway, so
geez.
Okay.
Or thank you is obrigado, isn't it? I think that's right.
Obrigado.
Yeah. Obrigado. Yeah.
Or very much is obrigadão, if I remember correctly. I think that's right. Like, thank you very much. So what's this next item here, Dr. Anne-Marie? It's a Picard looking thing.
Okay, so these are there are a couple great articles from our friend Mickey Yost, who will be on next Tuesday. He works for Cinema Blend, and there was this NPR interview with Patrick Stewart, and so I was waiting to see somebody write it up because I missed listening to it. But basically, I thought this was a really poignant article because it sort of like encapsulates how a lot of us feel. So what came up was, while Star Trek is an A+ science fiction, Patrick Stewart has a thoughtful take on the franchise's religious fan base. As everybody knows, like Star Trek fans take it really seriously, and it's like almost a way of life. And I thought
almost.
Yeah. So Patrick Stewart has some really thoughtful like observations about why he thinks that is and why it's a good thing and not a crazy thing.
Let's pull up that quote right now, shall we?
Yes. Yes, I see it very, very clearly and very strongly. It was about truth and fairness and honesty and respect for others, no matter who they were or what strange alien creatures they looked like. that was immaterial. They were alive. And if they needed help, Jean-Luc Picard and his crew, his team were there to give it. So yes, in a sense, we were ministers. And I have heard so many times from individuals who have been honest enough and brave enough to tell me aspects of their life, of their health, of their mental health, and how it was all saved and improved by watching every week. And I love that so much.
Really cool.
Rings true through all of the shows. And yeah, all of the characters that we've fallen in love with, this has an air of truth to it. That's pretty great.
And we follow the Star Trek things. I mean, other people are like really into the Dallas Cowboys and like they wear Dallas Cowboys shirts all the time and talk about the Dallas Cowboys or what. Yeah, I mean, nobody blinks. It's kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. But then Star Trek's like, why are you doing that?
Well, let me ask you guys this, not to get too edgy, but when they liken it to a religion, I definitely see that parallel. I see that. Do you think that it's possible that some Star Trek fans take it a little too seriously? Like they're not dipping their toes in the religious pond, but they're actually kind of treating it as a religion and taking it very seriously, as I give a very leading question.
I mean, you can always have too much of a good thing, right? Any good thing is out there. You can always have too much of it. And you know, this is fiction. We enjoy it. It's entertainment, stuff like that. But if somebody starts taking it as like, this is the philosophy and does like a Bible study of it or whatever, something like that. That's not what this is for. I mean,
right.
It's for entertainment, but also teaching a couple of lessons on the side as well, as best as the writers come up with. I mean, the writers are not holy. I mean, they're expressing their points of view.
Right. But like with all communities, there's always extremists who take things to the extreme and kind of lose sight of what the actual message is. So
that's funny when you mentioned there's some extremists. My first thought was like a group of Riker extremists. They're just like, Riker is the freaking best, and you know it. And if anybody, did you hear somebody say where is he? Somebody said Riker's not the best. Where is he? We'll find him.
We won't talk about the Janeway Chakotay shipping. So
oh yeah.
So again, like people do this for like sports teams all the time. Like, how dare you insult the Phillies?
This is very true.
But like the nice thing of Star Trek is that it's based on like a humanistic dogma from Gene Roddenberry, and so you just know that it's putting like humans and their feelings and like trying to treat everybody with respect at the center, and so it kind of gives you like the fandom has like some like moral values that make you like following other things like sports teams or something. Like it's just different, and it's nice that Patrick Stewart recognizes that, and like he's come to a place where he like respects it and is happy to have been a part of it. It's just nice to read.
That's an excellent point. My analogy doesn't go that far. That's a good point.
But I mean, you're very right. Like,
you're also right.
Obviously.
Well, and I have to mention one Trek fan's comment. She says, just because it's my religion doesn't mean I believe the writers are holy or take it too seriously.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Good perspective. And this is a great article by Mick Yost, everybody at Cinema Blend. So make sure you check that out. I did want to make one more point about the religion thing. Because I was immediately thinking they're kind of like the two schools of Star Trek is my religion, to where it gets toxic in my mind, where they take it too far. Most people, they get so much value out of Star Trek. They learn, not just values, but how different good people handle things well. Because Sisko, Picard, Janeway, Archer, Kirk, less Kirk, but they handled difficult situations very well, but very differently. So you don't necessarily have to look at, Picard's, path as gospel, because maybe that doesn't, maybe diplomacy doesn't jive with you as much. You know what I mean? And so they're giving you plenty of different mentors that go about things in a very different way, but still can be seen as great mentors, I think.
And they do kind of like help raise you if you started watching Star Trek as a very little kid.
Like you did.
Yeah, you see them your whole life. It's amazing.
Well, and they it kind of approaches it like scripture, where it's not necessarily so good to be rigid in one aspect of Trek or one aspect of a captain, or they're more like guidelines and moral guidelines on how to approach life and how to approach each other in a more empathetic and giving and charitable way, rather than a rigid, I'm Captain Jellicoe and not you. You're not in a uniform way.
You're being rigid to Jellicoe.
Also just people. And I feel like the other difference, like, is that Star Trek, you get 120 hours with a lot of these people.
Yeah.
And that's so much more than most shows. I mean, except maybe like some sitcoms or soap operas, but it's not the same thing. It's not like a drama, and they're not going into these morality plays. So it's just a really unique thing with Star Trek.
It's nice because it's explicitly allegory too, in that sense. Like
Yes.
nobody
Right.
watches this and thinks like this happened. Nobody's
Yes.
thinking that, right?
That's
And
the
it
key,
also like
right?
frees
Isn't it?
you. Yeah, it frees you to like be able to think about these things without
Exactly.
them being loaded.
Exactly.
Right.
It makes it so you could then take the message from that and say, like, okay, where do I agree with the message and where do I apply it in my life, as opposed to like that happened.
Right.
Like, no, that didn't happen.
Yeah, because they are applicable in everyone's life. They are relatable, even though these stories are allegories.
It's also really key because it's a much easier pill to swallow. If somebody says, hey, you're a dick to people, you're not going to take it very well. But if they show you an example of an alien being a jerk to another alien in that same way, you can swallow that pill and go, maybe I shouldn't have called him fanny face or whatever, because it was mean when it happened to Neelix. And so then I won't do it. And Neelix was like, no, I deserved it. And he was
Felix
right.
was like, look at my cute toes.
Ew.
Well, and the other thing is, since Star Trek's been on so long and there's so many iterations, it also helps you like understand like further downstream consequences of things that happened, and like different ways to look at it. And they show you like so many different angles. So it's really beautiful. I love it. And I love how we always point out here, and everybody in the live chat's agreeing that like every iteration, every episode is somebody's favorite. Like even Shades of Grey is my favorite.
That's nuts.
It's special that like it welcomes everybody's views.
If I wore those glasses, Ryan, I'd look like Max Headroom. I got one more bald.
Max Headroom was
Burly
in
Dorf
a Star
Rasmussen?
Trek. There it is. Very good.
Love that guy.
I was also going to point out just very quickly the two toxic ways I could see that people taking Star Trek too seriously tend to go. One is the direction of Star Trek is my God and my Jesus and my whatever, so it can do no wrong. And anybody that criticize, and then if you say, oh, that wasn't a very good episode, they're like, how dare you? I don't really like this show as much. How dare you? This isn't my favorite character. How dare you? Like, all right, calm down, guys. We're allowed to like different series and different episodes. It's all fine. They're not walking on water. They're just humans making shows. Sometimes you get a swing and a miss. It's not that big of a deal. Sometimes they'll tell you it was a swing and a miss.
Yeah.
The other way that people take it is kind of the opposite, which is it's such gospel to them, and they've got every little bit memorized, that when something new and different comes along, they're like, that's not my Star Trek. That's too different. I hate it very much and I hate you for liking it. You don't know things. Those
not real Star Trek, which is ridiculous. Like it is if it's released by Paramount and it has that name on it. It is.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep. It's funny how these things have been happening since TNG.
Yeah. Both of them.
We just didn't have access to the internet then. Didn't know how much it was happening.
So I do want to point out our next article from screenrant.com from our good friend John Orchiola. Is that the guy who goes by Back of the Head? Yes. Is that the guy who's a great wrestling reporter as well, journalist? Yes, that's him. But
he was
today,
I don't know if he's still
Star
there.
Trek.
Is that guy who knows everything about Gilded Age? Yeah.
This is entitled Geordi's Star Trek Picard Commodore's Office. Wait, Geordi's Star Trek Picard Commodore's Office Easter egg video shared by production designer. What? We missed an Easter egg?
Not in
Let's
Lower
find
Decks.
out.
Okay.
I'm sure
I'm
there's
trying to read
in
it.
Lower Decks.
All right. Mohammed, if you would please, this is a
Sure.
great article from screenrant.com.
Commodore Geordi LaForge, played by LeVar Burton, his office in Star Trek Picard Season 3 was filled with Easter eggs, and some are shown off in a behind-the-scenes video shared by production designer Dave Blass.
Ooh.
In Picard Season 3, Geordi returned as the curator of the Fleet Museum on Athan Prime, where he watches over several of the most legendary starships in Star Trek history. Commander LaForge is reluctantly pulled back into action by Admiral Jean-Luc Picard, played by Patrick Stewart, and Geordi saves the galaxy from the Borg one more time, alongside the reunited crew of USS Enterprise D. On Twitter/X, Star Trek Picard production designer Dave Blass shared a video flashback from 2022 of LeVar Burton delighted by all the swag in Commodore Geordi LaForge's office. Burton especially loved the statue of Zephram Cochrane, played by James Cromwell, from Star Trek First Contact, and he even kissed Blass, which is a memory Dave treasures. Check out the video when you click.
Aww.
It's so cute.
We can't listen to it or
No.
someone will get mad at us.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. Whoa.
It looks like one of those things, like that thing at the zoo where you put in a coin and it makes you a little mold.
Yeah, it
That's
does look like that, yeah.
It's
Wow,
so cute.
Or like the thing that does your pennies.
So everybody
Yeah.
just listening in, it's a tiny miniature statue of Zephram Cochrane pointing at the stars. There's a statue of me over here.
Wearing his little hat.
Actually, it's right over there. That's how it went in First Contact. I got to take a leak.
Back of the head says I posted this on and for Dave Blass's birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday, Dave Blass.
So
I'm not
sweet.
detecting any leak. Don't you guys in the 24th
I knew
century
you were
ever
gonna
have to
say
go
that.
pee?
Yeah.
Oh, leak. I get it. That's funny. And scene.
I still don't know why they don't just transport the pee out. Just, oh, now I feel better.
I actually thought about that when I was a little kid. I was like, I wonder if we could live in a world where I don't have to go pee or poo. They could just transport it out of me and I don't have to deal with this.
Comes up on like
And
a
then-
Star Trek podcast at some point.
And then if you're feeling like nauseous, like you're feeling like you don't have to go through the whole rigmarole of, that, you could just be like, all right, just transport whatever's bothering my stomach out so I don't have to eject it the icky way,
Colonoscopy prep can be in like a minute.
Oh,
Watching, like beaming out the babies. That happens occasionally in Star Trek.
Oh, that is a way better. I mean, poop is cool too, but you're probably right that babies is probably a better, safer thing because then you don't have to like destroy your body on the way out.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So there's like a little Orville stuff, but I was thinking maybe we could save that for Friday and just because I really want to go over the Lappy categories to remind everybody to vote.
Good call.
If that's okay with you.
Yeah, there was definitely some Orville news.
Mhm.
Okay, let's just skim it real
Okay.
quick because it was really big. What was it, like 2 days ago, I think?
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh, this says 5 days ago. Oh, Mick Yost again. Great stuff. So as the Orville season 4 remains in limbo, Adrian Palicki gets honest about why it's a difficult show to shoot. I found this to be a very interesting read. I guess I just read it 2 or 3 days ago, but it's been out for
Oh,
5 days.
it's so
Fascinating.
interesting.
And it makes sense and it's honest and it's sad and it's tough.
And it's
So we'll cover it. Yeah.
relatable.
We'll cover it a lot
It's
more
like-
on Friday, definitely, because that's a whole discussion. And we definitely are fans of the Orville, except for Muhammad. And we love we love the
I
show.
just met
We're
her.
rooting
She was
for
just
them.
at Dragon Con this year. I met her there.
Massive.
Really?
Mhm.
that show so much.
She walked up I was sitting at a bar with some other people, like eating dinner. She walked up and sat beside me. I kept on asking the person next to me, "Do you think that's Adrian Pilicki?"
Oh wait,
and I was
She's
like,
tall. She's like 6 feet.
She was very tall. Yeah. I finally just asked her. I was like, "Excuse me, are you Adrian Pilicki?" She was like, "Yes." I'm like, "Oh, big fan of Orville and big fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D."
Nice.
When I had
And Friday Night Lights.
like impromptu night on the town with Isaac. It was like one of the best nights of last year.
Mm-hmm. Well, I too had fun nights on the town and road trips with a star of the Orville, Rico E. Anderson.
Oh yeah.
Everybody, so be jealous. Rico E. Anderson, shout out to him if he's in the live chat. What's up, dude?
He was in the live chat earlier.
We
I don't
chased
know
him
if
out.
he's still there.
So we'll talk more about that in a few days. But Dr. Anne-Marie Siegel, because everybody that's new here, we have another live show on Fridays at the same time, same channel. It's a lot more chill. That's the hint. So what about the Lappies, Dr. Anne-Marie Siegel? Can you tell everybody that is new to this show what the Lappies are?
Okay. So as part of Virtual TrekCon every year, we have a big Star Trek award show, and we call it the Lappy Awards, like Live Long and Prosper E. And it's all voted for by fans. So we do two rounds. The first is preliminary rounds in the Facebook group Virtual TrekCon, where there are a bunch of ways you can, there are a bunch of different options. You vote for 3. You can add some if you don't see yours, but you have to actually vote for the ones you're adding.
Yeah, it's like the Emmy Awards, but for Star Trek. And rather than a bunch of nameless, faceless monsters making these votes and making these winners that you don't agree with, it's you, the fans, deciding everything.
Choice. Yeah.
You guys are voting on everything. And then all the winners are announced in a star-studded live show with tons of Star Trek celebrities and showrunners and actors and writers and cooks. And they all get together and we're announcing the winners and they're presenting and they're doing speeches. We have surprises. Klingons show up and make a complete mess of the place. And it's a good time.
It's great. So this year is going to be February 18th, which is a Sunday night, 2024. So to get ready for that, we're at the tail end of our preliminary polls. So we have preliminary polls for every single category. Legacy, which is all old Star Trek, new Star Trek that happened this year, and Universe, which is everything. So they're in the Virtual TrekCon group right now. We're on our final 5 categories. Once that's done, we'll compile all the finalists in a big Google Doc, and everybody can vote for the actual winner for every category. So we just have 5 remaining categories right now, and let me tell you which ones they are. You have until Friday night to go vote.
In the Virtual TrekCon Facebook group. So go to facebook.com and just type in Virtual TrekCon and join the group, not the page, the group.
Yes. So the first one is, which one-off alien species is the most fun? So these are, you saw more than one alien in one episode. So you have a feel for how their culture works a little bit. Just who your favorite, most fun one is in all of Star Trek, any Star Trek at all. And the other thing is maybe they were seen in the background in another episode, but they can't be a plot point for another episode. So it's really just basically a one-off alien that you think is the most fun. So we have quite a few options in that one.
Super fun.
And Derprisians from Prodigy is one of the front runners at the moment, but right now it's anybody's game. I also really love the Iosians from A Piece of the Action. They're always one of my favorites. The next category.
The Iosians 11.
Yeah, those guys. They'll sell you a little heater. The next one we have is, which movie would you most like to see return to the theaters or return to the big screen? And so basically we have every Star Trek official movie listed, and you can vote for your top 3. Next we have, let's see. Who is your favorite reintroduced legacy character in 2023? So those are Dr. Crusher, Worf, someone that was on Star Trek before, and then we've never seen again until 2023. There are quite a few options, and right now that's anybody's game too. we just had so many great ones. Rolaren, Ramen Lita, Scotty, Lore, Ceto Jaxa. So that's a very popular category.
That just made me want to eat top ramen when you said ramen Lita.
Yeah.
I was like, right? That sounds really,
Now
that
I want
always
ramen.
sounds good.
Then we have, lastly, what is the most heartbreaking death in Star Trek, which is going to be another really contentious category with tons of, there have been some great additions.
Vadic.
And, I didn't think about Vadic.
Heartbreaking.
It actually broke.
I guess I'm just like,
her broke.
crying about
Her heart broke, shattered.
Well, it's like such a sad list to read through, but they're all, that just like speaks so much to the Star Trek writers and actors who portray them. It's just to still
what
feel
about
so
that,
much when you read it.
What about the third guy that went on the skydiving away mission in the 2009 Star Trek movie? Remember that engineer that was like, what, he was going down and then he just died.
Farm Boy number 2.
No.
You mentioned the Iosians and Piece of the Action. This is a trivia thing. I only just found this out. Maybe I learned it a long time ago, but do you know the connection of that to Enterprise?
Yes. The Mafia, whatever it's called, of the Chicago. Yeah, the book is in what's his name?
Travis
Anthony
Mayweather.
Yeah. On the horizon.
Exactly. So, I didn't know that. Yeah.
So that's my favorite Enterprise moment of all time.
So just to fill in the gaps there on that. So in A Piece of the Action, they had gotten this book from a ship called the Horizon. And then the ship that Travis Mayweather was on was called the Horizon. And in a scene where you see his old quarters, you see this book about Chicago mobs of the 1920s.
Yes, that's it's so good. I love that episode. I love that episode and I love that Enterprise Easter egg. It's just the best.
We talk about the week ahead?
Yep. I was just checking that. All right. So everybody, let's talk about the week ahead. First, you are going to join the Virtual TrekCon Facebook group to vote in the preliminary rounds. Now, I know what you're thinking. Some of you are saying, man, why you got to be on Facebook? I'm not on Facebook. I'm not interested in that. I don't want the government to know my secrets, bro. They steal your information or whatever your reasoning is. That's okay. This is just a preliminary round. The finalists, all the nominees, move on to the finals, and that voting is on a Google form. So anybody can use it. It's not on social media. It's not in an email address. It's nothing. We will post out that link, and that is going to be in just a week from now, actually, just a week from today. So even if you're not on Facebook, you can come right back here next week and get the instructions on how to vote for the winners of the 2024 Lappy Awards. Do you want to see Sonequa Martin Green holding a magic virtual trophy and winning everything in Star Trek? Then vote for her in whatever she might be, nominated for. If you want to see Ira Stephen Bear going, we did it, everybody. We finally got a Lappy Award, folks. It took us forever. Then vote for him.
Before, but yes.
Yeah, but they don't know that. If they've never seen this, they don't know this stuff. So anyway, you can make it happen. You can get these people to receive these awards. Oh, and also send us an email with how we can contact them.
And if you have a species or somebody to add to one of the polls, go to the Facebook group and add it so that there's still enough time for them to get votes and win. You never know. A lot of times people who add on, I think so far, Justin Weir and Dave Gregory, just from the top of my head, have had add-ons proceed to the finals. Yeah.
All right. So then the week ahead, yesterday on the 7th Rule YouTube channel, we just released our full review, Sirach Lofton and myself, talking about the Next Generation Season 2 episode, Manhunt. Sirach and I had a lot of fun with that one before we hit record, just the title alone. Melissa said it reminded her of the Fleetwood Mac song. Wait, no, that's not Fleetwood Mac, Man Eater. That's Hall & Oates, isn't it? Good. Okay, then That's on the Seventh Rule YouTube channel. Then on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Where are we? There we are.
You know.
In December, we are starting, Mohammed Noor and I, on the Falling Tower YouTube channel, we are starting Family Month. We're reviewing family shows. It's a family kind of month, December is. So at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday, go to the Falling Tower YouTube channel. We've got our very special guest, Darth Shuey, joining us. He's an actor. He's brilliant. You're going to love him. And our first Family Month TV show is called Our Great National Parks. You didn't expect that one, did you? a national parks docu-series. It is. It's exactly that. So
narrated by Barack Obama.
Narrated by Barack Obama. Did he do well, though? Did Darth just rail on him? Was Darth just like, tell this guy to take a singing class? I don't know what that means. Then on Thursday, we may or may not have a fun Throwback Thursday video for all of you, as we've been doing recently while there's no new Star Trek. So on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern time on the Seventh Rule YouTube channel, we've been putting up some fun goodies so you can say hello to all your friends and watch us talking to our old buddies like Armin Shimmerman, the Na Visitor, Hana Hate from Deep Space Nine, when we reviewed episodes with them and had interviews with them back in 2019 and 2020. Then on Friday, come right back to this channel, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern time for Star Trek and Chill, our live show. We chill, we talk Star Trek some of the time, and it's a lot of fun. We have a beverage. Anne-Marie looks at her phone, and everything's great. So then on Sunday, I'm just jealous that I can't. Sunday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Go to the Seventh Rule YouTube channel because we have just finished seasons 1 and 2 of Star Trek: The Next Generation. So we are doing a special review of the documentary Chaos on the Bridge by 455 Films. 455 Films made documentaries such as The Captains and The Captain's Close-Ups and For the Love of Spock and What We Left Behind, the amazing Deep Space Nine documentary, all kinds of great stuff, and the upcoming Voyager documentary, To the Journey. You are going to love this. If you have never seen Chaos on the Bridge, which I have not, and Sirach has not, we reviewed the heck out of it. I don't think Melissa had. No, Melissa, you maybe had seen it, had you? You got muted all of a sudden.
Sorry, there's background noise. I watched the first 20 minutes and then I had to go to work or something of that nature. And then I didn't ever finish it until
now's your chance. So
where can we see that?
Yeah.
That is going to be on the Seventh Rule YouTube channel. Oh, the documentary Chaos on the Bridge, you can get it on Amazon. You can just get it on Amazon, or you can watch it on YouTube. Just do a nice little search for that. It'll pop up. You can watch the documentary on YouTube. It's a 1-hour documentary about the pure bedlam and chaos of the first 2 seasons of Star Trek: The Next Generation and why it was so shocking that it even survived into a 3rd season. But we review that with the makers of the film, Dave Zappone, Lolita Faggio, who was in it, Joe Kornbrough, who helped edit it. And Dave Zappone, of course, is the executive producer of 455 Films. It's really fascinating, everybody. Go watch Chaos on the Bridge on YouTube or Amazon, and then join us at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern time on the Seventh Rule YouTube channel to talk about it.
One quick thing that we have to mention. So there was an amazing Seventh Rule article that got posted today on CBR.com by Joshua Patton in the live chat. And I just sent you the link on Facebook Messenger just to show it, and we'll talk about it Friday. But amazing. It looks so great. I just retweeted it. Thank you so much. Great article.
Let's pull this up.
Okay, we
from
just have to.
CBR.com. Check it out, everybody. You are going to love this.
I'm here for the eye candy. But...
How Walter Koenig can finally tell his Star Trek story on his terms. Here's the key right here. On his terms, right? He's going to be able to tell a story. He's going to be joining the Seventh Rule podcast with myself, Srock Lofton, Melissa Longo, and everybody, Dr. Anne-Marie Siegel and Dr. Mohammed Noor, associate producers on the show. Great. So he's going to be joining us and watching the original series of Star Trek for the first time since it first came out. And he's going to be reviewing it for the first time ever. And this is a great article on that. Joshua Patton writes this. CBR.com. Go check it out, everybody. Anne-Marie, you said you retweeted it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's amazing.
We'll tweet that out, definitely.
He's been trying to get it published for 2 weeks, so yay.
Aw,
so nice.
Great stuff. Thanks very much. So I think that's it. Melissa Longo, can you tell everybody where they can find you retweeting that article?
On social media at Melissa Longo, Malissa, at theintrovertedrepublic.com, at Walking Art Made by Melissa, and Walking Art Made by Melissa on patreon.com. And I think that's all for now.
For now. What about you, Dr. Anne-Marie Siegel, MD?
On Twitter at Anne-Marie Siegel1.
And you already retweeted. We're going to get tweeting on that too. Or is it's posting?
To be fair,
now?
You were at the eye doctor.
Yeah, I was.
It's been a busy day.
I was. Dr. Noor, what about you? Where can people find all of your cool goodies?
On various socials at Mafnoor, M-A-F like Frank, N like November, O-O-R, or on YouTube at Biotrekkie, B-I-O-T-R-E-K-K-I-E. By the way, I'm wearing a Walking Art Made by Melissa shirt right now, or sweatshirt right now, so just FYI.
That you can get at theintrovertedrepublic.com. And if you'd like Melissa's shirt, tough shit, she's not giving it to you, but you can get one that looks just like that in a different size or a different color scheme. It's amazing. It's the Decor Province Majors, everybody's favorite baseball team, except for the ones that like various other ones. You can get that shirt in the description box below. Just click the link for the Star Trek and Chill Shopify store. Click on that link and get yourself your very own Decor Province Majors, or go to theintrovertedrepublic.com. Click on Walking Art Made by Melissa. Get Muhammad's shirt or one very similar to it, or all kinds of goodies she's got there. I was going to comment on Anne-Marie's cool Uhura earrings, but she's not wearing them today.
Sorry. Yeah.
All right. Oh, and everybody, you can find me on Twitter at RyanTGHusk. Melissa's like, see, Ryan, you almost forgot that. That's at RyanTGHusk, or just Virtual TrekCon, Falling Tower, or the Seventh Rule on your favorite social media, but especially YouTube.
Because he makes the engine go.
Yeah, Packlet over here, Grebned Log. Isn't that his name? Grebned Log, I think, something like that. Sounds like a goblin name. Anyway, that's it for us, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. It's been a great time. We appreciate all of you. And hey, if you want to talk about Packleds and other Star Trek news, put it on the main viewer.